Angry guy here, and a woman pooped in public, and everyone cheered her on. So let's just go ahead and jump right into this. You know, welcome to the new feminism, where the aim is to gross you out. So this is called gross out feminism. We've actually been seeing it for a while now, but it's still accelerating. It's still becoming something that feminists and women want to promote more of. A good example of this is where in the movie Bridesmaids, Melissa McCartney actually goes and she poops in a sink. It's coming out of me like lava, wails Melissa McCarthy as she sits over a china sink in a designer gown halfway through Bridesmaids. In hindsight, that might have been the moment the film was deemed worthy of comedy classic status. Guys, this is how it is. This and written by Annie Mumolo and Kristen Wiig, and directed by Paul Feig. Bridesmaids follows the best friend of Annie Wiig and Lillian Maya Rudolph, a lifelong bond that is put to the test when Lillian announces that she is engaged to be married and invites the chic and fashionable Helen Rose. So anyway, they say that one of the best scenes takes place when the gang of bridesmaids goes for their dress fitting, right? And let's see here. The event goes south when it becomes evident that the ladies have accrued a pretty nasty case of food poisoning from a restaurant that Annie took them to right beforehand. They become violently ill and wreck the luxurious bridal shop in the process. What makes the scene so powerful is not just that it takes a genre that is typically male and demonstrates that doesn't have to be the case, but it also takes a kind of scene that is often frivolous and transparent and makes it integral and pivotal to the plot. It's not a throwaway moment set up just for shock and laughs. In fact, it works to strengthen the central tensions of the film while allowing its characters to develop further. I mean, guys, this is what they find comedic. This is what they find appealing. This is what they think society should be about and how to move forward. Keep in mind, no one wants to see this in a film. Like guys would never want to do this in a film. They would be absolutely shaken if this was put in a film. But for modern day women, it's like they don't want you to have anything as a guy. Like they want to completely make you feel like demoralized, disgusted. They want to tear you down as much as possible because this was a drive at men. Feig uses fast-paced editing to emphasize the absurdity of Helen and Annie's cutthroat relationship. As soon as the spectacle breaks out in true chaos, with Megan relieving herself in the sink while Rita vomits in and around the toilet. And the film cuts back to Annie and Helen as they quietly brimming with malicious subtext. Annie attempts to convince her rival that she isn't also sick, refuting the assumption that it was food at her restaurant choice, which only Helen abstained from eating. That made the others sick. Cutting between the interaction and the scene of pandemonium likens Annie and Helen's relationship to one of total lawlessness and tumult. The scene also allows some subtle development of the supporting characters who might have been ignored in another comedy. It makes sense that Megan is the only one or is the one that uses the sink as a toilet because she's the main source of crude humor in the film. In essentially every scene, she takes things a little too far. During Lillian's engagement party, Megan makes shocking, intimate comments about a fellow partygoer. Later on the plane, she attempts to seduce an air marshal. She can also be counted to make a fool of herself and push the limits of what audiences can take. Guys, push the limits of what audiences can take. I mean, guys, they don't even want to be likable anymore. They absolutely don't. And they find this to be, this is what feminism has to be right now. I mean, let's go ahead and jump to this tab and we will look at this one forward. Lady parts are so hot right now. If the sentence shocks you, then you have been out of the cultural loop. Thanks to a new wave of television autobiography by some very funny women. Lady parts have moved to the front and center of popular entertainment. Male bits once held male, male bits once the only game in town are now chiefly of interest only as a sidebar to hilarious female riffs of misfiring, awkward and unsatisfactory physical intimacy, thanks to recent works like Lena Dunham, Britain's Phoebe Waller, writer, and now Amy Schumer, who smash hit Finn Moore, the girl with the lower back tattoo, recently hit stores. This is all part of a new movement, what I like to call gross out feminism. It's a gleeful, honest to a fault, and practiced exclusively by women who long ago kissed goodbye the capacity to be embarrassed. Its goal, apart from to make people laugh, is to provide a kind of shock therapy to those still harboring the notion that women don't have bodily functions, trap gas, and insubordinate periods of time, or that women must either be thin or desperately wishing they were so. I mean, guys, gross out feminism works by normalizing women through focusing on their bodies, traditionally the first and final frontier of femininity. Guys, there's nothing feminine. There's nothing feminine about this. This is crazy, and it violently pushes all remaining cats out of the bag. You know, I mean, basically, women are smelly. It says women are smelly sometimes. Their genitals are smelly sometimes. Schumer smells like chicken robin, baby diaper, morning breath, explosive diarrhea, acne, and sometimes farts during physical intimacy. Gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh, guys. This is what society has come down to. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying this content, please subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications to never miss another video again, and like the video because it tells YouTube you're enjoying the content and you want to see more of it. So YouTube will show you more of it. I mean, guys, this is the end for it's. We've been at the end. We're past that point, and that's why men are walking away from Western society, relationships in Western society, and focusing on finding happiness overseas. And I mean, guys, it's not going to change anytime soon. It really isn't going to change. It's only going to continue to accelerate and get faster because, we live in a society today where most women don't like most men, and they would prefer a world without men, even though they could not live or survive in a world without men. And it's something that we have to think about, I mean, look at this. A woman pooped in public and everyone cheered for her. And it's like, and I said this years ago. I said it years ago that, we were going to get to a point. I said this almost 10 years ago. I said that we were going to get to a point in society where a woman will poop and everyone is going to cheer. And that's exactly what happened. For those of you that have followed me for a long time, if you remember me saying this, like, don't just put it there for the sake of putting it there in the comment. If you genuinely remember me saying this years ago, that it's going to get to a period in time where a woman will poop and everyone will cheer. If you remember me saying that years ago, please say, I remember, seriously, I remember, Angry, that you said this years ago. Years ago. Okay? And guys, it takes generations. It takes generations to take things back. It really does. It takes generations to undo, damage if it even can be undone. And it's not going to happen in our lifetime. The relationship between men and women, Western society will not be held in our lifetime. When you see the direction that Western society is going in, we're going in towards a place of dystopia and towards a place where, in 100 years, I don't know if America will be here or it won't even resemble what it is today. And what it resembles today doesn't even resemble what it resembled 100 years ago. There's no more freedom. Very little freedom, and any little bit of freedom that we have or that we don't even realize we have is being taken away. I mean, it's literally getting to the point where you will walk down the street and they're going to try to tax you. Just leaving your house will be a burden. And that's kind of the goal, to keep you inside, to keep you locked indoors, to make you never want to go outside. Going outside, breathing air, that's for the elites. They want to ensure that you don't look outside anymore. Don't go out there. There's nothing out there for you. There's nothing out there for you. But during the events of 2020, McDonald's literally had stickers on the bags that said, it's more fun to stay inside. And they literally encouraged people to stay inside. And all the companies, they loved it because they made so much money. I was talking to, I think it was an Uber driver not too long ago. And he said to me, man, we made so much money during the events of 2020. We made so much money. He said the streets were empty, but we made so much money. So much money. Because everyone was inside, and they were the only ones that were allowed to be outside. So they were on the streets, and they were out there, and they were making money. And that's kind of what led to a lot of what's happening with the Gen Z idiots right now, because a lot of them collected money they should never have collected over the last couple of years. They were basically paid to sit at home and not work. You had people collecting like $30, $40, $50,000 in a single year, and they didn't work. And then to make matters worse, they weren't paying any rent. So every single thing, every dime they made was literally going into the bank, going towards luxury. I mean, they basically got a staycation for a couple of years. A staycation. You had all those people who have mortgage payments. They were basically paid not to work. They didn't have to make those mortgage payments, and they got to save every dime that they would have gotten from working. So it was like, what? It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. And that's what happened with the Gen Z idiots. They got something they should never have received. They experienced something they never should have received, never have experienced. And a lot of women did that. And as a result of that, it caused their standards to go even higher than they already were at that point. And in a woman's mind, I'm telling you how women work. All right? You have to understand, in their brain, in their psychology, in Western society, women believe with their entire being, no matter what they do, men will always want them. Because men have no choice. Because at the end of the day, no matter what they do, they're the ones that have the babies. They are the gatekeepers of reproduction. So even if men no longer desire them for a physical relationship, men are the only ones who are adults in society. Okay? Women have special privileges, men have special punishments. But whenever it comes to taking accountability and preserving the survival of our species, that is not the job of a woman, that is a job of men. And women are the gatekeepers of survival. That's what they believe. Women believe that they are the gatekeepers of survival because they are the gatekeepers of reproduction. So if men want to survive, then they have to always give in to the women eventually, or else humanity comes to an end. This is their perception. That's basically their last that's their last card, and it's their best card, they believe, because men have to be responsible. Even if you're no longer attracted to us, you still need us, because you can't have babies without us, and the world will come to an end. And they don't think that men will call them on that bluff. Guys, do you realize right now, if the welfare state were to collapse, public assistance went goodbye? It won't. But if it did, and and they needed help, and their only options were men, they would holler and scream. They could never change or go back. They would still be out there looking for millionaires and billionaires. They wouldn't find them. And the level of the destitution, the state of destitution that they would fall into, would not change their perception of reality. They would still, guys, covered in dirt, living in squalor, homeless on the streets, nothing to eat. They would still believe that they deserve a billionaire, a millionaire, a billionaire, and a guy that's 6 feet tall, has a six-pack, and makes above six figures. They would believe that they deserve this man, and that's the bare minimum, because there's other qualities he needs to have before they will accept him, because they are the table. What do you think regarding all of this, guys? Me personally, I'm sick and tired of it. By the way, guys, if you have a video request, if there's a topic you would like me to cover, you can find out how to send over your topic request uh, in the description. So all the information you need is there. So if there's something you want me to talk about in another video, you can send over your topic request, and you can find out how to do that. All the details are right in the description of the video. What do you think about everything we discussed here today, guys? I want to hear your honest thoughts on it in the comments. So let's talk about it there. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away. And cheers.